Man, someone stop this guy. Like I said, someone giving a hug. I mean, he's considering using military force to take Greenland. Like I said, bro, it's a back and forth. Last video I said, and I'm still standing behind that opinion. Like, he got some good aspects, and then he turns around and does some stupid shit. I've seen a video, like, before we get into that, look at this. These people have no chill, bro. Like, they're living in a meme world where they saw, like, some good stuff. That what was happening to Venezuelans. Look,
I'm here in Greenland. This kid's got a MAGA hat on. What's your message to Donald Trump?
Fight Queensland.
Fight Finland.
Fight Queensland. Fight Queensland.
No more tennis.
No more tennis. We don't like tennis. Beautiful.
they're probably not even from Greenland. Bro, it's just not real. Like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on notification. Welcome to all the new viewers. Let that bell ring you. Let's get into the video.
Significant developments tonight involving the security of Europe. First, on Ukraine, there's been a declaration of intent from the leaders of the UK and France that would pave the way for British and French troops to be deployed if a peace deal is reached with Russia. The aim to deter a future attack. Now, it came at a meeting in Paris of European leaders, members of the so-called Coalition of the Willing, hoping to agree security guarantees for Kiev. President Zelensky described it as a huge step forward, and Steve Witkoff, the US envoy, said it marked a big milestone. But the other key issue for European leaders at their summit was how best to handle Donald Trump's increasingly tough rhetoric over the future of Greenland, a semi-autonomous.
Look, man, on that topic, I stand with Europe. I got to. It's not because I'm selling my soul or whatever, but bro, leave us that stuff. You just got Venezuela. What the hell? I mean, no, I mean, like, you can't just march into every country now. You still haven't done, you still haven't delivered on your promise with, like, settling the fire cease desist order with Ukraine and Russia. I mean, like, that wasn't even part of the video. I'm not gonna cut it out because it's still what the hell.
Region of Denmark. Tonight, the
But
one.
I'm not agreeing. You can't just, like, turn around in the world and be like, that's something I like. Military boots, play the national invasion anthem. Yeah, I'll take that. You can't. I mean, what the hell?
White House said utilizing the U.S. military in furtherance of the goal of acquiring the territory is always an option. Bravado or a genuine threat? Might the U.S. military attempt to seize by force land belonging to a fellow NATO country? Well,
You
more on
can't do
that
that.
in a moment from Sarah Smith at the White House and Katya Adler, who'll be live in Paris. And we'll have analysis from Chris Mason here in the studio. But first, James Waterhouse has our top story tonight from the European Summit.
As their name suggests, this mostly European coalition has always said it's willing to help Ukraine after the fighting stops,
Well, now we
but
back to
never
that again.
how. In Paris, though, there was the first bit of detail out this statement in support of Greenland after Donald Trump's repeated. More reassuring if Donald Trump hadn't staged an extraordinary military intervention in Venezuela and repeated his desires to
does not back down from his commitment.
Now, they claimed. In if there was a direct confrontation with Russia, although not now, they claimed.
All right.
The president does not back down from his commitments. He is strong for the country of Ukraine and for a peace deal.
Those words might have been more reassuring if Donald Trump hadn't staged an extraordinary military intervention in Venezuela and repeated his desires to take over Greenland, a Danish territory. This US delegation has also been accused.
Yeah, I mean, look. The worst people are in that room. The worst people. That guy, that woman from Germany, that Premier Minister, which was displayed right here. That guy. Oh, wait a minute. We're at 249. That guy. They have the worst people in that room. It's no joke. It's just. And you see something else, or you don't see something else. China representative making a clown of themselves. Russian representative making a clown of themselves. It's just like that dude is a national laughing stock. What he did to London, and we're getting off topic, but I don't care. I don't care, bro. If that video is turning into a rant, then so be it. Maybe we're getting at the 42 minutes back to the video. I don't care. But it's a complete clowns in that room. Like I always say, like, oh, I trust my gut to pick the right video. I've trusted my gut now to pick the wrong video to depict and rip apart, to analyze. Which is an absolute joke.
Cast commitment to stand with Ukraine for the long term.
This group of almost 30 nations also promised to help monitor the.
Macron is a joke too. And don't get me started on that one. Don't get me started on that one. It's just a circle jerk of the same people. It's just a, oh, bro. I pray for everybody who's in Germany, France, and UK, and of course the ones in Ukraine. That military conflict needs to stop as well. I don't care if it's a rant. 7 minutes into the video, man, we haven't watched anything that is really concrete on that topic.
Frozen front lines to make sure fighting doesn't break out. But the most influential people in the room weren't seasoned politicians, but Donald Trump's friend and real estate investor Steve Witkoff and his son-in-law Jared Kushner, both now senior ambassadors. European confidence to help Ukraine with troops has been hampered with an American reluctance to step in if there was a direct confrontation with Russia, although not now, they claimed.
The president does not back down from his commitments. He is strong for the country of Ukraine and for a peace deal.
Those words might have been more reassuring if Donald Trump hadn't staged an extraordinary military intervention in Venezuela and repeated his desires to take over Greenland, a Danish territory. This US delegation has also been accused of being more friendly to Russia than Ukraine. Before the meeting has even started, European leaders have put out this statement in support of Greenland after Donald Trump's repeated claims of wanting to annex the territory. So you have this scenario where the ambitions of NATO's most...
Okay, even though that room is filled with idiots, I guess they united on that topic. There's nothing else I can say, really. People are pieces of shit, every single one of them. But I guess they're like uniting on that topic, which I'm happy about it. Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, like I said, he can't just turn around in every direction and be like, yo, that's something I like, I claim it. It's not how it works, bro.
Powerful member are making the rest of the alliance nervous.
You're not making...
Europe is
never
trying
mind.
to unite around Ukraine against Russian aggression, as well as attempting to take America with it. And we don't even know what Moscow will agree to. In these geopolitical times, this is a continent having to tread carefully. James Waterhouse, BBC News, Paris.
Well, what about that statement from the White House tonight saying the acquisition of Greenland is a national security priority for the US and that using the military is always an option?
We're exposing US with their claims of national security on every topic. We had it in the last video with the China chips, with the CPU chips being sold to China. There's no chips from China. That's causing national threat. So just in case, don't twist my words. but everything's a national threat. I mean, like strategy. I mean, like I get it. You would have like some strategic advantage over like the other big countries, but
Alarm bells have been ringing across capitals right across
it's
Europe.
always the
Greenland
same
and
fucking
Denmark now want
excuse.
talks with US Secretary of
Always.
State Marco Rubio. In a moment, we'll hear from Katya Adler in Paris, but first let's talk to Sarah Smith in Washington. This statement, it does seem a little bit strange, certainly for European leaders, that there is the possibility that troops might be used to take Greenland.
Yes, it's an option, the White House said today, and I think this has come about because President Trump was clearly so delighted by the success of the military operation in Venezuela that it may have given him an appetite for going after other foreign targets, because it was very shortly after the arrest of the
Yeah,
Venezuelan
you
President
can't do
Nicolas
that, bro.
Maduro that he started talking again
You can't.
about his desire to acquire Greenland. And then today, the White House press secretary gave this statement to the BBC in which she said that President Trump has made it well known that acquiring Greenland is a national security priority of the United States and that it's vital to deter our adversaries in the Arctic region. The President and his team, she said, are discussing a range of options to pursue this important foreign policy goal, and of course utilising the US military is always an option at the Commander-in-Chief's disposal. Now, also today, a senior White House official told Reuters that President Trump does want to
Just
acquire
because you
Greenland
could
in this
doesn't
current
mean you
term,
should.
so that's at some point in the next 3 years, and that he was looking at options of purchasing the territory from Denmark or forming some kind of very close alliance with the island. So there are definitely a range of options on the table, but anyone with any doubt about where Donald Trump thinks that he sits in the Americas and his desire to extend his influence across the Western Hemisphere should look at the image that was posted yesterday, a very moody-looking Donald Trump with the clear statement on it that said, "This is our hemisphere." He means the Western Hemisphere. And by that, he includes not...
Like, just slow down, Tiger, right? I mean, but who am I? I mean, that's an idiotic claim. That's just an idiotic claim. I like some of his views, political aspects, and whatsoever, but that's an idiotic claim. It just is. I'm sorry.
just that North America and Greenland, but Central and South America as well. He thinks that America has the right to control and influence what happens in what he considers to be the US's backyard, and he is definitely flexing his muscles on
Yeah,
that this week.
yeah.
All right, Sarah, thank you for that. Sarah Smith.
That's a
At
good
the
take.
White House. Let's
That's
go
a
to
good
Katya
one
Adler
from
in
Sarah
Washington,
Smith.
Paris. What's been the reaction to all this from European leaders, Katya?
They're pissed. What else?
Well, of course, Clive, the reason that so many European leaders were here in Paris was as part of the coalition of the willing. What they really wanted to do was try and find a way towards a stable future for Ukraine after aggression from Russia ends. And they need the United States on
Russia
board
is
for that.
always the enemy.
The risk is over Greenland is that they end up going head to head with Donald Trump, because Greenland, yes, it is an Arctic island, but it is a semi-autonomous territory of Denmark's. The Prime Minister of Denmark, Mette Frederiksen, was inside the meeting today. She's a key EU ally for many of the European leaders here today and a key NATO ally of the United Kingdom's. But in the end, at this meeting at the Élysée, Paris, there was such a Greenland-shaped elephant in the room, Clive, that 6 major European powers, including the UK, France and Germany, made that joint statement and said the only ones who can decide the future of Greenland is Greenland itself and Denmark. But is that really enough to contain Donald Trump's ambitions? As we've just heard there from Sarah, he's put all sorts of
He's not gonna
possibilities
do
on
it.
the table to
He
acquire
wants to,
Greenland,
but he
whether
won't.
to buy it or to take it by
Please don't prove me
military
wrong.
force. And what we've seen so far since Donald Trump was re-elected,
I like to be
as
proven wrong
president,
many
is
times, but not
European
on
powers
that one.
dancing this really difficult diplomatic dance to manage Donald Trump. Yes, to stand up for European values or allies, but always trying to avoid his ire or to provoke him. But will that still be possible? The Danish Prime Minister says if he takes If he takes Greenland, that will be the end of the transatlantic alliance NATO that Western Europe has relied on for its security since the end of the Second World War. And if Europe continues in this very, very careful attitude with Donald Trump, in the new world of big power politics that we now live in, that Donald Trump seems to relish, Europe risks at best just being a bystander and at worst being trampled underfoot.
That won't happen. That's my academic advice. Yeah, there's only 1 week. We're only 1 week into 2026. I thought the same, bro. I actually thought the same. What a time to be alive. Europe now considering the United States to be a security concern. Never thought I'd see this in my lifetime. Fair point, bro. Greenland is to be a base that isolates Canada from NATO allies. That is his target. Yeah. It's a national security threat, isn't it, guys? Bullshit has claimed. See you in the next one.